Greetings. Welcome back to my channel. This is Mushtaq Memon, Professor Emeritus from Washington State University. We continue our videos on integrative veterinary medicine. And traditional Chinese veterinary medicine is a very big part of IVM. So today we are going to talk about herbal therapies, Chinese herbal medicine. TCVM is practiced in China for more than 2,000 years. And it incorporates acupuncture, herbal therapies. But when you look at the patients which are presented for herbal therapies in China, usually those 70% or so patients receive acupuncture along with herbal therapy. There's only about 30% receive only acupuncture. Now, considering our approach here in the United States, and this is a report from one of our papers where horses were presented for TCVM only, and this is a study based upon 3 years of number of horses presented. I will have another video especially on this study. But just here, for our own purpose, as you can see here, almost 90% of these horses were treated with acupuncture. And if we look at similar situation in our canine and feline, this even condition is even higher number. Almost 95% of the canine presented for TCVM were treated with acupuncture. Now, there are a few characteristics of these herbs that we should appreciate before we start getting into using them. So, first of all, we have to categorize or find out the characteristic of herb. What is the temperature or energy of this herb? Is it cold? Is it hot? Is it cool? Warm or neutral? In addition to that, we need to also appreciate the taste of this herb. You know, when I got exposed to this information, the herbs were presented to us in the class on the desk in front of us to smell and then taste them. And all these herbs have very, very unique taste. It could be sour, bitter, sweet, pungent, or salty. Then another very important aspect is how this herb transfers the energy in the body. Is it ascending? Means this herb is taking the energy up towards the head of the animal, or it descending, going towards the tail of the animal, or it is what you call floating, means the impact is more exterior of the body, or it is sinking, energy going towards anterior of the body. And there are, few things that we make mistakes, our Western trained minds, which we need to pay attention to, that rather than focusing only on the symptom of the problem, we need to identify the pattern of the disease, which is one of the fundamental concepts in our TCVM. And some of us, use too many herbs at the same time, and then trying to treat too many symptoms at the same time, with many herbs. And then also in our Western mindset, we are expecting results of this herb medicine or treatment very quickly, which doesn't happen. Most of the herbs, Chinese herbs or herbal formula, take a little more time than our typical Western treatments. And then another important aspect is that not to have a tunnel vision, thinking only about the disorder or the symptoms which you are seeing in that animal. We need to consider the environment, where the animal lives, what the animal eats, and then also the constitution of the animal. So these are some of the fundamentals of TCVM, which play an important part whenever we try to treat animals with herbal therapies. And then there are some goals of this approach of using our herbal medicine. Number one, obviously, we want to cure the problem. And then if we are not able to accomplish that, at least stabilize that animal, whatever the condition is. And then in other situations, we use herbal therapies as adjunct to or complementary to, let us say, Western medicine. And then another important aspect of use of these herbs is that we use them as, in a sort of improving quality of life in chronic diseases like cancers or severe terminal disease that we want to make the animal feel comfortable and make them feel better in that way. Now, if we look at the herbal formula, and as you know, in Chinese medicine, most of the herbs are used as a formula, means 2 or more herbs in combination. So herbal formula is the most common way to treat animals in Chinese veterinary medicine. So this is the group of, again, animals presented to us is also from retrospective study, which I mentioned earlier, but here is more focus on the herbs. So you can see these animals treated, they were canine and feline animals. So there are many herbal formulas you can see listed here. So without having too much of a time, I like to just focus on the one herbal formula which was used the most in our dogs was C. Yonzi Tong on 4 gentlemen. So as you can see here, the literal translation of this 4 gentlemen is just like it says. C means 4, UZ means gentleman. Because the canine most of them were presented with musculoskeletal and neurological problems. And this is a kind of common thread that I've seen whenever we treat these animals in our hospitals for TCVM. So because this was such a large number focusing on musculoskeletal and neurological diseases, so this formula was used the most. And the actions of this formula is to tonify qi and strengthen spleen and lung. Now, when we look at the horses, again, the study is focused on retrospective study of many years to see what the formulas were used. As you can see, again, a very long list of it, but I'm going to focus on this very tall one bar on our figure here is the Shan Tong Zuyu Tong or body sore. Very commonly used formula, just like the English name says, body sore, is 60% of these horses were presented with musculoskeletal problems. So let me just take you through this translation of this formula. As you can see here, Shan means body, Tong means pain or soreness, Zu means eliminating, Yu means stasis or stagnation, and Tong means decoction. So action, as you can see here of this formula, are invigorate blood and qi, dispel blood stasis, unlock painful afflictions, and relieve pain. So you can see it fits very well with the condition these horses were treated for. And there are many other herbal formula which really are well known and I like also. And one well known is Yunnan Bio, and it is named after the province in China, Yunnan, where this formula was originated from. And again, the meaning of this formula would be white powder or white medicine, because Bai means white and then Yao means medicine. The action of this formula is stop bleeding. So this is one of the very few formula which are used for emergency purposes. And according to Dr. Shea, one of the very few emergency formulas herbalists carry all the time. So here are some of the references. Those of you who intend to practice herbal, Chinese herbal medicine, I would highly recommend to have Dr. Shea's book mentioned here on the top in these references on your bookshelf. Dr. Ma has edited outstanding Chinese herbal manual, which has got 178 herbal formula which are commonly used. Dr. Sneh Bibi has written 2 excellent chapters in a recently published book on integrative veterinary medicine. So has Dr. Syke has written also a good chapter on herbal, Chinese herbal medicine in the book. So our next video is going to be the TCVM in practice. So I expect you to join me again on our next video. Until then, I wish you goodbye, and we'll see you soon.